I nursed my mom through cancer, but she left everything to my sister. I didn't care until my sister tried to sell me the very bed our mother died in. That's when I knew I had to fight back. I was there when she threw up blood for the first time. I held the bowl, trying to hide the panic from my face while my sister cried in the hallway, refusing to step foot inside the hospital room. I was the one who cleaned her sheets, clipped her toenails when she couldn't bend over, and whispered old gospel songs in her ear when the morphine kicked in and she was too weak to talk. That was my mother, and I was her invisible child. My name is Rachel. I'm 38 now, but this all started when I was 34. My mom was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer the same week I finalized my divorce. My ex had left me for a woman 12 years younger, no kids, no baggage, no stretch marks from 2 pregnancies. So when the call came in that mom needed help, I packed my bags and drove 800 miles back to Alabama without a second thought. I left everything behind. My job, my apartment, my friends in Colorado. I figured I'd be gone 6 months, maybe a year. I didn't know I was walking into a prison. Mom had always been complicated, doting in public, critical in private. Growing up, my sister Amanda was the golden one. Cheer captain, straight A's, daddy's favorite until he left. I was the one who wore her emotions on her face, who needed to be less sensitive and didn't smile enough for photos. But when mom got sick, Amanda disappeared. Said she couldn't emotionally handle watching her deteriorate. So who handled it? Me. I moved into the guest room of her little yellow house, the one with creaky floors and floral wallpaper that hadn't changed since 1987. I cooked, I cleaned, I cataloged meds. I fought with insurance companies and spent hours on the phone with Medicare reps who couldn't pronounce my mother's name. I watched her lose weight, lose hair, lose hope, and I kept Amanda in the loop. Every damn day. Mom's white blood cell count is down again. She asked about you. She had a good day today. She laughed at Jeopardy. I begged her to visit. She came once, stayed 38 minutes, posted a filtered selfie afterward with the caption, "Tough days, but love conquers all. Hashtag family first." She went to Cancun a week later. I held my tongue for months. When mom was admitted for the final time, she looked like a ghost. Bones under skin, her breath whistled at night. I slept on the hospital couch beside her and barely ate. Amanda didn't even call that week. When the end came, it was quiet. I was holding her hand. I kissed her forehead and said, "It's okay, Mama. You can rest." I planned the funeral. I wrote the obituary. I picked the casket. Amanda showed up in heels and designer sunglasses, sobbing like she'd just lost a limb. She tried to climb into the limo, but I told the driver to leave without her. That was the first time I saw her crack. And I thought maybe, just maybe, that would be it. That maybe with mom gone, I could finally breathe. That all the sacrifices, all the years of being the dependable one, the afterthought, the caregiver, maybe they'd count for something. I was wrong. It took 2 months for the will to be read. It was done through a small-town attorney named Wallace, the kind of guy who wore bolo ties, unironically, and still had a fax machine. I was nervous but hopeful. I didn't need money. I just wanted a sign that she saw me, that she knew. Wallace cleared his throat and began. "To my beloved daughter Amanda, I leave the house, the car, and the life insurance policy." I stared straight ahead. For her bright spirit and unwavering support during my darkest days, my jaw tightened. To Rachel, I leave my cookbook collection and my wedding ring. Cookbooks. A ring. With gratitude for her help and care, I didn't move. I couldn't. Amanda's face was a mask of faux humility. She nodded like this was justice, like this was fair. I left before Wallace finished, drove straight to the Walmart parking lot and screamed into the steering wheel until my throat went raw. She gave Amanda everything. The house I cleaned, the car I drove her to chemo in, the insurance money I would have used to maybe restart my life, because Amanda had a bright spirit, and I had cookbooks. The betrayal didn't come all at once. It hit in waves. Days later, I found myself washing my hands too often, obsessively checking the mail, snapping at strangers. I wasn't angry, I was shattered. But I wasn't stupid, because 3 weeks later, I got a call from Amanda. "Hey, just wanted to check in. You doing okay?" Her voice was syrupy fake. I didn't answer. She texted 2 days later. "Hey, so I might sell the house. Got a great offer. But I know it means a lot to you, so I thought I'd offer it first. $210,000. Let me know by Friday that house, the one I bled in." She wanted me to buy it from her. I stared at the screen. Then I opened my laptop, and something in me shifted. The rage wasn't hot anymore, it was focused, cold, clean. She thought I was broke. She thought I was done. She had no idea I'd already been talking to a lawyer, and she definitely didn't know I had every voicemail, every message, every bank transaction, and a few secrets of my own. If she wanted to sell me that house, she was going to regret it. Amanda had always been slick, the kind of girl who smiled while lying through her teeth, who wore vulnerability like perfume, something she could spritz on for effect then wash off when she didn't need it anymore. But that call, that text about the house, it wasn't just tone deaf, it was an insult. She thought I'd crawl back like always, that I'd beg. What she didn't know was that while she was taking selfies in Mexico and sipping champagne at real estate mixers, I had been quietly documenting everything. Every time I signed a medical release on Mom's behalf, every time I used my own debit card to buy her meds, her oxygen machine, her Ensure shakes. I started compiling it all. I opened an Excel sheet and labeled it Receipts, Read and Weep. I didn't just want revenge. I wanted it irrefutable. Then I called Amanda. Hey, I said, voice steady. I saw your message about the house. Oh, good. I didn't want to blindside you. Figured I'd give you first dibs, you know. You're asking $210,000. She laughed. Yeah, that's already under market. I'm being nice here. I didn't say much. Just, can I see the house before I commit? She paused. I mean, sure. But I haven't had time to clean it. Some of Mom's stuff is still... I'm not worried about dust, I said. Let's meet Friday. Friday came and I pulled into the driveway like I didn't already know every crack in the concrete. She greeted me in yoga pants and a fake smile tank top that said good vibes only. Inside the house was dim. It still smelled like Mom's rose lotion, but something else lingered underneath mildew and dust. Amanda walked me through like a realtor, pointing out the granite countertops I had installed, the renovated bathroom I had paid for, the central air unit I had found on Craigslist and arranged to have installed. This place has great bones, she said, flipping her hair. I figure it'll go fast. I nodded. Can I see Mom's room? She froze. It's kind of a mess. I haven't touched it. I'd like to, I said, already walking. The room was just how I remembered it, except colder. The sheets were gone, but her old knit blanket was still folded on the rocking chair. I sat on the edge of the bed, silent. Amanda lingered by the doorway. Look, if you need time to think, I'll buy it, I said. Her eyes lit up. Seriously, one condition. I want everything in writing, including the furniture. I want the house like it was. She blinked. Why? Because it matters to me. She nodded slowly. Fine, I'll have the paperwork sent over. What she didn't realize was that I had already talked to a title attorney and pulled property records. And what I knew was that Amanda had filed a transfer deed from Mom's name to her own exactly 2 weeks after Mom's morphine dosage had doubled, and the signature looked shaky. Too shaky. I sent a copy to a handwriting analyst. She confirmed that the signature was inconsistent with any of Mom's prior legal forms. That alone wouldn't win a court case. But I wasn't finished. I started digging through my old emails. Found two where Amanda asked me to not mention to Mom that she was withdrawing money from their shared account for bills. One even said, she's out of it half the time anyway. Just cover me. Okay. Amanda was sloppy, beautiful, charming, but sloppy. I gathered everything: bank statements, text messages, screenshots, receipts, and handed it all to my lawyer, Ellen. Ellen was a pit bull in heels. She barely blinked as I laid it all out. She used your mom's condition to file a fraudulent deed, Ellen said. That's elder exploitation. And since she benefited financially after your mother's death, it's a civil liability too. Possibly criminal. I swallowed. What happens if I press this? She loses the house, Ellen said. Maybe more. Good, I whispered. Burn it down. While Ellen worked her legal magic, I kept Amanda talking. I asked casual questions, played the game. She sent me a video tour of the house. In it, I saw something that made my chest tighten: a shoebox on Mom's old dresser. I knew that box. After Amanda left town for college, Mom would keep old letters in it. Letters Amanda sent home, sweet, flattering, manipulative stuff. She used to reread them like scripture. I knew because I caught her crying over them more than once. I asked Amanda about the box. She said she tossed it. Big mistake, because the box wasn't full of Amanda's letters anymore. Mom had moved those. In the final months, she'd started writing me letters. I found them in the back of her closet under her old Bible, carefully folded and tied with a lavender ribbon. 9 letters. They weren't all pretty. One read, I failed you. I see that now. I see what I gave Amanda, the easy love, the credit. And I see what I gave you, the weight, the silence. You deserved more. Another said, I hope when the time comes you can forgive me. I want to leave you something, not just my house. I want to leave you peace. I cried reading those letters, ugly sobbing on the floor, curled up like I was 5 years old again. Then I wiped my face, stood up, and scanned them. Amanda thought she could bury the past under a price tag. But what she didn't realize was Mom may have signed the wrong papers, but her truth was still here. I had the letters, I had the fraud, I had the will, and Ellen had just filed the lawsuit. Amanda was about to lose everything she stole, and I was going to make sure she watched it burn. 3 days after Ellen filed the lawsuit, Amanda lost her mind. It started with a text, "You spiteful little witch. You think you can come for me after everything I've done for this family. Then another mom would be ashamed of you, and then the kicker, you're just bitter. She loved me more." I didn't reply. I just took screenshots and forwarded them to Ellen. Keep everything she said. We'll need it. Amanda must have gotten served because her Instagram went from photos of brunch and sunsets to cryptic posts with captions like, "Jealousy is a disease. Get well soon," but behind closed doors, she was unraveling. The thing about Amanda is she was good at pretending. Always had been. She could turn crocodile tears into confetti if it got her attention, but she couldn't fake paperwork, and she definitely couldn't explain a fraudulent signature on a deed filed just weeks before our mother died. That was our first weapon. Ellen petitioned the court for a signature verification hearing, backed by the handwriting analyst's affidavit and multiple prior documents showing Mom's verified signatures. It was airtight. The court granted it. Amanda panicked. She actually called me at 1:43 in the morning. I didn't pick up, but her voicemail was almost comical. "You're destroying everything. You're ruining our family. I'll give you the house. Okay, just drop this, please." Funny how fast bright spirit turns to begging. I didn't answer. I never planned to, because this wasn't just about the house anymore. It was about justice, about truth. And it turns out, I wasn't the only one Amanda had screwed over. A week after the court hearing was scheduled, I got a message on Facebook from a woman named Darcy. The name rang a bell, Mom's old neighbor, a nurse. She'd moved away a few years ago. She wrote, "Hey Rachel, I don't know if this matters, but when your mom got sick, she asked me to witness some paperwork. Amanda said she had power of attorney, but something about it felt off. I wasn't allowed to read what I was signing, and your mom looked scared." I blinked at the message, then replied. Darcy agreed to sign an affidavit. She remembered the date, the time, the way Amanda rushed her. Even remembered what Mom was wearing, a pink headscarf and her favorite old cardigan. That opened a new door: coercion and undue influence. It also meant Amanda's claim to the house could be fully invalidated, not just as fraud, but as manipulation of a terminally ill woman who was under emotional duress. The next few weeks were a blur of filings, hearings, and lawyer meetings. Ellen was relentless. She submitted the letters Mom wrote me as intent documents, evidence that contradicted the will. Combined with the shady transfer of property and Amanda's sudden control of assets, it painted a very ugly picture. Amanda tried to fight back. She claimed I was fabricating evidence, that I hated her, that I was jealous. Ellen handed the judge a spreadsheet showing over $37,000 in withdrawals from Mom's account in the last 4 months of her life, all made by Amanda. Meanwhile, I showed zero withdrawals, only deposits, medical receipts, home care purchases, pharmacy invoices. Amanda's defense collapsed, and the judge. He was not amused. He ordered a temporary freeze on Amanda's control of the estate pending full investigation. That meant she couldn't sell the house, couldn't touch the life insurance, couldn't even sell the furniture. She was trapped. Exactly where she had caged me for years. Then came the final straw, the letters. We presented them one by one, scanned, dated in my mother's own handwriting, her regrets, her apology, her hope that I would find peace, that I would have a home again. One even said, "I don't know how to undo what I've done, but I know Amanda will try to keep it all. Please, Rachel, fight for what's right." The courtroom was silent. Amanda looked like she'd been slapped. The judge leaned forward and asked, "Do you deny this is your mother's handwriting?" She couldn't, not under oath. That was the day I won, not just legally, not just technically, emotionally, morally, visibly. Amanda left the courtroom with her head down. Her lawyer quit 2 days later. I later heard from a mutual friend that she tried to sell the car, Mom's old sedan, but couldn't, because the title was in dispute due to the same forged power of attorney issue. Meanwhile, Ellen filed a motion to transfer the home and all relevant estate property to me, citing undue influence, fraud, and breach of fiduciary duty. We requested damages, interest, court fees. Amanda ghosted. Stopped replying to emails, her bank accounts were being examined, her assets frozen. She moved out of the house a week before the judge made it official. I walked in the day she left. The place smelled like lavender again. Mom's rocking chair was still in the corner. I sat down and cried. Not because I missed Amanda, but because I missed who I thought my family was supposed to be. I thought I'd feel triumphant when Amanda left the house. Instead, I felt nothing. No victory lap, no champagne, just silence. She was gone, but the damage she'd done was still bleeding beneath the floorboards. Stacks of unopened bills, a leaky faucet, my mother's favorite dishes chipped and shoved into a box like junk. Amanda didn't just take what wasn't hers. She destroyed what was sacred. But I wasn't here to mourn anymore. I was here to reclaim. While Ellen wrapped up the estate case, I began the slow process of restoring the house. The first thing I did was repaint the living room, Mom's favorite color, soft seafoam green. I opened the windows and let the spring air in. I lit her old rose-scented candles. I scrubbed every surface Amanda's presence had tainted. And then I started fixing what Amanda left broken. She had maxed out one of Mom's credit cards. I found unopened collection letters buried in a drawer. She'd pawned off jewelry, including Grandma's wedding set, which I later recovered from a pawn shop an hour away using the original appraisal slip I found in Mom's filing cabinet. Each recovery felt like a small exhale, but Amanda wasn't done. She reappeared on Facebook, of course. She posted a long, self-pitying status. Some people only show up when there's money involved. Family is supposed to love unconditionally, not sue you because they're bitter and alone. She posted a filtered selfie, all soft light and fake sorrow. I didn't respond. But the comments, oh, they noticed. Didn't you get everything in the will, though? Pretty sure your sister took care of your mom for years. This you followed by screenshots of the lawsuit coverage from a local news blog. Amanda deleted the post. Then she called me. Her voice was hollow. No venom this time, just desperation. I don't have anywhere to go, she said. I'm crashing with a friend, but she wants rent now. Silence. I know I messed up. Okay, but you won. You got the house. Can't we just move on? I didn't say anything for a moment. Then you didn't just mess up. You stole from a dying woman and then tried to sell me the bed she died in. A choked silence. I was scared, she whispered. I thought if she gave everything to you, I'd have nothing. She gave everything to you, I said, and you burned it. I hung up. She tried texting, guilt-tripping. Then eventually she stopped, blocked on everything. Meanwhile, Ellen pushed the civil case to the final stage, damages. The court ruled in our favor. Amanda was ordered to pay $58,000 in restitution for fraudulent withdrawals, misused estate funds, and court costs. She didn't show up to the hearing. I heard later from Jess, that Jess, Amanda's old high school friend, that Amanda was working part-time at a hair salon, renting a couch in a guy's basement, driving a borrowed scooter because her car was seized for unpaid tickets. It should have made me feel better, but all I felt was the heavy, inevitable weight of justice. Cold, impersonal, unstoppable. She built a throne on my mother's grave, and the truth pulled it out from under her. I was now the legal heir of the house, the rightful beneficiary of the insurance payout which Amanda had tried and failed to hide through a short-term CD account in her name. I had the court's full ruling, and I had the letters, my mother's last gift. But more than that, I had freedom. I started writing again, something I hadn't done since college. Poetry, essays, fragments of old memories. I got a job at the local library part-time just to ease back into a rhythm. And then one day, someone knocked on the door. It was Amanda's daughter, my niece. She was 17 now, tall, thin, with my sister's green eyes, but none of her smugness. She held a duffel bag and a notebook. I didn't know where else to go, she said. I let her in. She told me everything. About how Amanda blamed me for ruining her life, how she drank too much, how she threw things, how she once said Rachel always thought she was better than me, but she's just bitter and boring. She's not well, my niece said, and I didn't want to turn into her. I made tea. We sat on the porch. I didn't say anything profound. I just let her talk. And as the sun dipped below the tree line, I realized something. This house had finally become what Mom wanted it to be, a place of healing, not for Amanda, not anymore, but for the ones left behind. My niece stayed. At first, it was temporary, just until she figured things out, but temporary became weeks, and weeks became her unpacking the duffel bag and hanging a few clothes in the closet of the old guest room I used when I moved back. The same guest room where I used to cry quietly at 2 a.m., while Mom groaned in her sleep. Now there was laughter in the hallway again, music playing from under a closed door, the scent of microwave popcorn drifting into the kitchen while I read by the window. Little signs that this house had stopped being a tomb and started becoming a home again. She never asked me for anything, never hinted at needing help, but she did ask questions about her grandmother, about the real story. I didn't hold anything back. I showed her the letters, the court files, even the spreadsheet of receipts. She cried quietly when she read Mom's handwritten note that said, "I pray Rachel forgives me." I see her now. I see everything. "I always thought Mom made you out to be the problem," she whispered, "but you were the only one who ever showed up." I didn't cry. Not that time. I just nodded. Truth has a funny way of waiting, but it always shows up eventually. We planted a garden that spring. Hydrangeas, tomatoes, basil, lavender. She painted the mailbox yellow and added a little sign that read, "Home is earned." I didn't tell her, but I kept the wooden piece of that sign when it started to peel. It's still in my desk drawer. Amanda never came back. Word around town was she skipped out on the restitution payments and tried to flee to another state. The court issued a lien on any future assets she might own. But the real punishment wasn't financial. It was isolation. No one wanted her around anymore. Not her old friends. Not our remaining cousins. Not even her daughter. That was the thing Amanda never understood. You can spin stories, dress them up, add hashtags and filters, but the people who know you really know you. They see the rot underneath the paint. One day I got a letter in the mail, no return address, just my name written in thick black ink. Inside was a single page. "You win." I hope it was worth it. No signature. I burned it in the fireplace. Not out of hatred, but because there was nothing left to say. I hadn't won. There were no winners in this, just survivors. The house, now legally and emotionally mine, became more than a symbol. It became a refuge. Not just for me or my niece, but for anyone who needed space to breathe. I hosted book club meetings. Let Jess from the library crash in the spare room when her landlord tried to double her rent. I offered tea to the postal worker who confessed his mom just got diagnosed with cancer and he didn't know how to feel. No one asked what happened to Amanda. Sometimes the silence said enough. On the anniversary of Mom's death, I sat alone in the backyard under the old magnolia tree. I lit a candle, brought out a slice of her favorite cake chocolate with raspberry icing, and whispered a line from the last letter she wrote me. "I didn't give you a fair life, but I hope in the end, I gave you love." I closed my eyes and let the candle flicker until it went out on its own. Later that night, my niece crawled into the chair beside me with 2 mugs of tea. "Do you think we'll ever be a real family again?" she asked. I looked at her, this girl who was barely an adult, but already knew the weight of betrayal, who still chose compassion over resentment, who showed up. "We already are," I said. She smiled. And in that moment, I realized revenge didn't rebuild this house. Truth did, not fire, not rage, but slow, intentional healing. I didn't get back the years I lost or the mother I wanted, but I got to break the cycle. I got to rewrite the ending. So no, I never went back to Colorado. I never restarted the career I left behind. What I built here was something different, not flashy, not glamorous, but real. And that was more than enough.